So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of... They spoke out. They should have... They believed their ancient knowledge, ugly and painful but people don't want the truth when it's covered in blood. Well, death doesn't always mean an ending. It was a sacrifice, and so you're the closest you'll ever come. Well, the Red Church and their politicians made sure of that. It's always so... cruel rituals. They called it wisdom, but to the people, the druids believed their results would justify the costs. They thought... To greet you. I was once where you are now, and here I found... Well, first, you're going to meet my former employer. He'll try to sugarcoat the Why waste time here talking? Just remember, this is the point. Once you step but if you've come this far, go on.
At last we meet. I've heard much about you. Your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truth buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first. Caradoc followed when my brethren burned and the tear opened. And now, here you are. A truly rare and joyful occasion. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I am Orin, the last apprentice of Merlin, and the last archdruid of Avalon. I've carried the weight of this land's secrets longer than I care to admit. But names mean little. What lingers here, it's older than Avalon. Older than anything we know, its purest form. Oh, precisely the opposite of what Caradoc wants. Ridiculous, I know. But ultimately, though, both are... Yes. By the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. Excalibur, a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. The crown of Pendragon, a beacon of courage and resilience. The shield of Palamedes, wisdom and independence. But Merlin and the others didn't believe that would be enough. So they acted. When the king died, his soul wasn't allowed a clever solution. I tried. And I found his humanity, finding it needed more than the horrors you endured on that island gave you something no one else has. That's why you found the king's soul. No, the asylum treated you as a subject. I see you as a savior. I can see you're still doubting. I want to bring back our king, whole and complete. I want him to leave. Because I've seen what happens without him. Weirdness preys on the weak. Ever they're left without him, without guidance. If things continue this way, then Avalon falls. Help me bring the king back, whole and... Now you need to... I made my case. This is the only...
I was there when it all began. When Arthur first set... We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, it was... glorious. Every battle felt like a step closer to peace. Every sacrifice justified by the dream we shared. But then came the cost. The war crimes, the impossible decisions, the massacres, slaughter. We turned from knights into butchers, all because his dream demanded it of us. At first I told myself it was necessary, that it was the price of buildings. That's when Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, and no man should have the power to demand. But do you understand? I'd like to believe that after you need to understand that people thought that he wasn't. He made mistakes. I've seen what happens when people cling to kings and myths. They wait, but that's not my problem. What comes after doesn't matter. Let it all burn. Call it chaos, call it freedom, I don't care. I just want to watch it all come down. To see the last lie collapse. What comes after, that's for... Then let it. Let them stand, let them fall. At least it won't be another king's failure. Another lie propping up a dying... Arthur's the only myth that still holds weight. A puppet king, another... Maybe they'll keep pretending for a while. I've lived longer than any man should. Seen more than any... Orin's a druid. That's what they do. I don't believe it's my decision to make. I've watched this cycle turn too many times. We were fools to tamper with forces resurrecting Arthur. In such violations of nature's order, this cannot... Listen, it's taken longer than I ever imagined. But now, you've brought Arthur's soul back together. So, thank you. You're close now. Just one more step, and then... we'll meet again. Go. Find the last piece.
You've come. The one, please, just... Because I've had enough. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? I've seen towns burnt to the ground. Families. I've been dragged through every dream. Every lie they've built around me. And I'm tired. Tired of the weight, of the expectations, of all of it. And most of all, I'm tired of failing. Orin wants a king, not me. He doesn't see the broken, but symbols aren't people. They're empty. Do you know what it's like to be a weapon? I want relief. Kill me. destroy the last piece of me. Just don't. He thinks ending me will free Avalon. But what then? People always seek some. Take that away, and they'll tear each other apart. Let me die. Not as Arthur. Another way? There's always another. But please, not. Isn't that what you've been doing all along? Doesn't that prove I don't care? Do you know how freeing that is? To finally not feel the burden of all my failures, to not see the suffering my name causes. Do what you think is right. That's the only thing I've ever wanted. You hold the choice. I don't care who you side with, or in Caradoc. I don't eat. Just let me.
Help me bring the king back. Hold. Now you need. I made my case. This is the only.
Go on.
Hello there. Let me. Always a pleasure to see you.
You carried a dying king across the bones of a dying world. Now you stand before. I am the real. I do not guide. I do not offer meaning. You have brought all. Now, decide, choose, and let the shape of the world. You will be seen. You will be you will vanish into the storm. You will break the frame. You will shape the world. Then the idea shall be claimed, its shape, but first, you have to.
If this is what you want, then take it, my friend.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
think any other human could wield this power? I endured sick. I made the sacrifices. Me! And now you think you can take it? No. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. Then the idea shall endure.
I begged you not to do this. I begged you.
No.
Through your sacrifice, the king returned, entire, unbroken, and ready to reclaim his throne. You held faith that Avalon's fate still turned with him, that one last rising could bring balance to the broken land. Now he rules again, and the world bends to the weight of your choice, for salvation or for ruin. You gave everything to restore the king, and your journey ended with his return. Closing your eyes upon the sight of Arthur's triumph, you felt no regret, only the certainty that your final choice had been the right one. Then the idea shall fall, its weight, but the soul is not yet yours to give.
Thank you. But promise me, you will win this fight, my friend.
After everything you've seen, then all the suffering I am. Now I am complete. Avalon will be reborn. Perfect this time.
You brought down the cycle with steady hands and no promise of glory. You did not claim the throne. You buried it. There is no king now, only the truth you made and the path others may follow. You had no answers, only scars and the will to keep walking. And sometimes that was enough to keep others going too. Then the prince will ascend and return to his mother.
No, I won't.
You uncovered the truth buried in the weirdness and used it to return Arthur to where he truly belonged, ending the cycle and securing Avalon's future. The four-dweller mother's heart, no longer bleeding, sealed the wound in the world, and with it, ended the Red Death that had stolen so many lives. And so, the legend of King Arthur began to fade. In its place grew a stronger Avalon, where the weirdness was no longer feared, but understood. Then the idea shall develop, but the soul is not yet yours to...
If
No.
You think I...
You gave the soul to another, not to escape its weight, but because you believed they could carry it. One person, chosen by you, to bear the burden and to shape what comes next. Whatever future rises from their rule will bear your seal, for it was your will that set it in motion. Without the power of Arthur to sustain you, your body fell back into the endless rot of the Red Death. With only a few weeks of life remaining, you withdrew into isolation, finding a quiet place from which to watch the kingdom you had helped forge anew. You chose Fearghas to bear Arthur's soul, a man shaped by duty, loyal to the old ways. Order returned to Avalon under his rule, with Camelot once more at the center. Though not all welcomed a future built from the past. Because of you, the men here remained and the Kuinact endured, not just as a place, but as a legacy of quiet defiance and hope. Lord Yvain was remembered as a hero who gathered the wise and set out in search of the Grail, while Kuinact stood as a peaceful haven amid the weirdness. You awakened the giants, only to command their end, leaving no power behind for either side to claim. Without their strength, the balance held, but the divide between Camelot and the Dal Rita remained, wide, bitter, and far from settled. Fearghas remained captain of the Horns of the South. Under his leadership, the Horns honored their old traditions and returned under Camelot's banner, securing order along the southern frontier. Neante left Kuinact with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, Tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Maggot left Cuanacht alongside Yvain, surprising many who had long considered him harmless and weak. His fate remained unknown, but in time, the people spoke proudly of the last druid, claiming him as one of their own. Erfyr left Cuanacht alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life and spoke of him with lasting respect. Ailey turned to the merchants for support, and for a time the hospital prospered. But when they began charging patients for care, she walked away and opened her own small practice, refusing to serve profit over healing. Cillian served as quartermaster of the Horns of the South, until one night his thirst for blood drove him to murder a fellow keeper. He was caught in the act and brought to a swift end. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Erfyr, a blacksmith who built a system where everyone worked and no one ruled from above. His reforms reshaped Avalon, but the former elites didn't disappear. They adapted, keeping their influence through quieter, less visible means. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Lord Yvain, and under his rule, Avalon found steady ground through open courts and elected knights. The people welcomed a leader who finally listened, though some still looked to the horizon, wondering what might have been if a true king had returned. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Neante, a quiet leader who rebuilt Avalon not with armies, but through care, faith, and timeless service. Her rise brought healing and unity. Yet some watched with unease as a priestess became a ruler, and humility gave way to unchallenged reverence. You gave Arthur's soul to a beggar, a final insult to fate and to all who sought to shape Avalon's future. With no vision, no throne, and no purpose, the realm unraveled, left to rot in the hands of someone who never asked to rule. Seeing Arthur's power carried by another, you were prepared for your demise. And yet, death did not come. The prophet Cai saw you, knew you, and named a fate few could claim. A life spared when all should have been lost. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Gerf'hanr, who moved the capital to Mathar Mines and ruled by the principles of the Dal Rita. Many embraced his efforts to unify the land, while others, especially in Camelot, struggled to accept the new center of power. Motion. Seeing Arthur's power carried by another, you were prepared for your demise. And yet, death did not come. The prophet Cai saw you, knew you, and named a fate few could claim. A life spared when all should have been lost. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Fionola, and under her vision, Avalon embraced the calmed weirdness and the new life it offered. Many accepted the change, merging their flesh with the unknown. But not all followed, and a quiet resistance grew among those who feared what they might lose. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Maggot, a druid who no longer believed Avalon could be saved. With the fleet sealed by Merlin's spell, he devoted himself to breaking it, determined to free the ships and lead those willing back to the homelands. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Maggot, a druid who no longer believed Avalon could be saved. Following in your footsteps, he descended to Sarras, intent on freeing the fleet and leading it back to the homelands. Yet he was not prepared for what he found there. And in the end, he could not bring himself to destroy the peaceful life of the sanctuary. He returned to the surface instead, resolving to find another way to save the people of Avalon.